Good morning, friends. So today we are going to discuss the subject, the theory of competition. So I am giving a lecture on the theory of competition. So this is the first lecture here. So obviously it is the first lecture, then I need to know about the subject, what actually this subject is. Okay, so the theory of competition is the subject. First we'll define what is a TOC and theory of competition. So it is a mathematical representation of machine and its capabilities. It's a very simple definition. Here we are having a machine and that machine is doing some function. So that machine and its functions are represented in the mathematics format. That is what my TOC, that is theory of competition, right? So see here, so basically in the TOC subject, what actually you are going to study is that you are going to study the three most important concepts. The first one is the automata that you are studying here. I will brief about this concept. Now the second one, you are going to have the grammar here. That also we are going to study here. Now the next one, that you are going to have the language. So these three most important concepts that whole TOC, whole 6 units are you are going to study here. Now first we'll see what is actually a automata, what is a grammar and what is a language here. Automata is also called as an accepting device. Just I will write here, it is called as what? Accepting device. Now what do you mean by the accepting device? So this is the device which is telling us whether the given string should be accepted or not accepted. So here the output will be whether the string should be accepted or not accepted. So that is what automata here. Okay. Now there are different types of the automatas are there that we are going to see later. So first we'll see now what is the grammar here. So grammar is called as a generating device. Grammar is called as a generating device. Now what actually the grammar is doing is that the grammar is generating the number of the strings which are accepted by my automata. So the grammar is what? A generating device. Now coming to the language here. The language basically it is defined as like a L notation, and it is the set of all those strings which are generated grammar. So it is a set of what? All those things which are generated by my grammar or which are accepted by my automata. So all automata, grammar and language, they are on the same level. Okay. Now we'll see that what are the types of the automata, correspondingly what the grammars we are having and correspondingly what is the language is there. So the first automata that we are going to study is what? A finite automata. That's I am writing here, finite automata. Okay. So the finite automata is going to have its corresponding grammar as a regular grammar. Regular grammar. Now the correspondingly its language is called as a regular language. Regular language. So this is the first automata we are having. Now the second type we are having the push down automata. Push down automata. Now correspondingly its grammar is called as a context free grammar. Context free grammar. Correspondingly its language is called as a context free language. Context free language, and so we call it as a CFL also. Now the next automata you are having what? LBA. That LBA is called what? Linear bounded automata. This is a linear bounded, and automata will be the same, linear bounded automata. Now the grammar will be what here? Context sensitive grammar. Context sensitive. Context sensitive grammar here. Now the language it is going to have what? The context sensitive language. Context sensitive language. So in the whole TOC subject you are going to study these only: automata, linear bounded automata, and all these things, grammar and languages. Now the next important that we are having is what? Turing machine. The last automata, very powerful, Turing machine, and its correspondingly grammar, recursively enumerable grammar. recursively enumerable grammar, and the last you are going to have what? A recursive enumerable language. Same as it is, only the wording change on recursively enumerable language. So basically these are the four types of the automatas, correspondingly grammar and languages here. So here the most powerful automata is what? My Turing machine, and the less powerful is what? My finite automata. And after this one we are having what? More powerful than finite automata is push down automata, and more powerful than this one linear bounded automata. Now here the linear bounded automata does not exist practically. Practically this is not existence in nature. Okay, but we are going to have these three: first, second and third. Okay, so this is totally, also this is called as a type of T3. This is called as a type T3. This is also called as a type T2. This is also called as a type T1, and this is also called as a type 0. So these are the four types. This is an overview of what actually you are studying in this subject. Okay, so we are going to discuss in the unit 1, you are going to discuss finite automata, unit number 3 push down automata. So you are continuous in the unit wise, you are going to study this automata and also the grammars also, right? So this is just overview about. Now as I told you is that here the powers of the Turing machine is more than what? The linear bounded automata here. So now I want to show you the Venn diagram. Okay, now I can rub all these things. Now I will show you the Venn diagram here. Now as all of you know is that T3, so how the Venn diagram will look like for this thing, so that our concept will be cleared. So here you are going to have at the inner part you are going to have the T3 here. Okay, that is T3 is nothing but what? Finite automata, regular grammar and regular languages, right? Now T2, in the next level you are going to have the T1, and this is what? T0. As already I have indicated, that T3 is nothing but it is going to have the finite automata, regular grammar, regular language. T2 is nothing but what? A PDA, push down automata, context free grammar and context free language. Now T1, linear bounded automata and context sensitive grammar and what? Context sensitive language. T0 is called as a Turing machine, recursively enumerable grammar REG, and recursively enumerable language. So actually the Venn diagram, and this Venn diagram is telling only that the T0 is very powerful. Now the T0 can accept the language CSL, CSL, CFL and regular language also. So the Turing machine can accept all the languages. The Turing machine can accept recursively enumerable language, CSL and CFL and regular language also. If I go for the T1, linear bounded automata, it is going to accept the CSL, context sensitive language, plus context free language and what? Regular language. Now coming to the next T2, that is a PDA. The PDA can accept the context free language and regular language, and the last one, finite automata, is going to accept only what? The regular languages, right? So this is totally talking about the Venn diagram. So from this Venn diagram, it will be clear that which one is the most powerful and all these things, right? Now the next thing that we are going to study here is that the automatas are again divided into their types. Okay, so the first automata that we are having the finite automata. Now this finite automata is basically divided into what? The two type most, DFA and NFA. Okay, now last two words are finite automata cell. Only the first word is different. This is called as a deterministic finite automata, and this is called as a non-deterministic finite automata. Okay, now the word itself indicates deterministic and non-deterministic. This finite non-deterministic in nature. We can't determine that whether the given transition, whether it should go to that Q0 state or Q1 state. So we are in the non-determined state here. Okay. So in the next lecture I am going to explain how actually the DF and NFA both are differ. Okay. So we are just discussing about the types here. So DF and NFA, and if I want to compare the powers of these two finite automata, DF and NFA, then both are in the equivalent language. Both are equivalent in nature. What do you mean by the equivalent in nature? As I already told you, is that finite automata accept the regular language. So for all regular language, okay, for all regular language, we can construct the DFA and we can construct the NFA also. For the same language, we can have the DFA and NFA. That is the meaning of what equivalent here. Now the second that you are having got PDA. Just I will write it push down automata. EPDA, okay, and NPDA. The wording, the meaning of D and N are same here, deterministic and non-deterministic only. So NPDA I am writing here. Now about the comparing here, okay, about the comparison between DPDA and NPDA. NPDA is more than power of DPDA. Now how? Okay, as I told you is that the PDA is going to recognize language. Okay. It is a regular language and for the context of free language. So for if there is a context free language, then we can construct the DPDA and we can construct the NPDA. But there are some context free languages. For that we can construct only NPDA, but we can't construct for the DPDA. So that's why the power of NPDA is more than what? The DPDA. Is that clear? Here it is a equivalent. Now we are going to have the next one, linear bounded automata. Basically this is not practically exist, so we are not going to study its type and all these things, right? So the Turing machine, okay, and also for the linear bounded automata we are not having in the syllabus also. Okay, so here the next we are having what Turing machine here. The Turing machine is again divided into the two type, DTM and what? NTM. And this is called as what? Deterministic Turing machine and again non-deterministic Turing machine. And if I compare about the powers of these two types, then again it is equivalent in nature like my DFA and NFA, right? So here, now as already told is that Turing machine is going to accept the recursively enumerable language, REL. Okay, now for all recursively enumerable language, you can construct the DTM and you can construct the NTM. Okay, so for every recursively enumerable language, so there is no such language is available is that only I can construct NTM and I cannot construct DTM. So there is no recursively enumerable language, so that the DTM and NTM both are having what? In equivalent in nature in their powers. Okay, so this is just talking about the overview of the subject, what actually you are going to study and what is the definition of that subjects here. Okay, now this is totally talking about the overview. Now the next thing is that we are going to study here is that types of automata that already we have studied. Now the next is what? A basic concept. Now we are going to study for the first unit. The first basic we require is what? Symbol. Okay, now what is a symbol here? A symbol is nothing but it can be a digit here. Okay, so digit can be from 0 to 9. Okay, now a symbol is it can be a symbol here. Okay, now again it can happen that here there can be any spatial that can be considered into what? A spatial symbol that can be anything, plus, minus, operators, star, okay, at, okay. So any spatial symbol and operators, those are coming under what? My symbols here. Okay, just it is like a symbol, 0 to digits are there, alphabets A to Z. Okay, you are going to have some special symbol, at, comma, bracket. So all those are going to be here, right? Now symbol. Now the next is what? From the symbol we are going to have the alphabet here. Okay, now alphabet. What is actually alphabet is that? Alphabet is a set here which is represented using like this alphabet. Now the alphabet can contain the element from the symbol. So it can contain anything. So it can, let us consider if I take the 0, 1. Okay, so my alphabet consists of what? The two numbers 0 and 1. Okay, now it can happen that my alphabet can contain here small a, small b. Okay, because while solving the examples for the finite automata, we require all these things, alphabet and all these things, right? Now the alphabet. Now the next you are going to study is what? A string. A basic concept we are studying here now, a string. Now what do you mean by the string? A string is made up using what? These alphabets. Okay, now we are having the alphabet 0 and 1, and from that 0 and 1 we can have the many number of strings that are formed here. Okay, so now what can be string? 0, 0, 1, 1, right? Now if you see here, if I consider this string, so this is a part of what? This alphabet, because it consists of 0 and 1, and 0 and 1 are from what? The alphabet here. Okay, now similarly if I consider AB, so it can happen that AB, AB, AB. You can consider any string, but your alphabet should be what? A and B. Okay, A, B, A, B. Okay, there is no C. If I say consider, if I add the C here, okay, now this is not the string of this alphabet, because there is a new character is there, C, but that is not there in the alphabet, right? So string. Now already we know that string. Okay, now in general English we are having what is that meaning. If I say that Sunil, now this is a string, but for this meaning is important. Meaning is important. Okay, so from this I can say that this is the name of some person, Sunil. Okay, now but in case of the TOC, the string is different. Okay, the string is here, the meaning is not important, but the format is important. Now what kind of the format is important here is that, okay, now consider that if I say that double A, double B is there, or triple A, triple B is there. Okay, now 4 times A and 4 times B. Okay, all these are the string. The meaning is not important. I can't read double A, double B. Okay, I can't. There is no meaning for this one. Okay, but there is a format. Now, what format is that? Equal number of A's followed by equal number of B's. So it can be continuing so on. So I have just shown here is that 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, 4A, 4B, and like this continuing. So here the format is important. So in case of the talk, the meaning is not important, but the format is important here. So that we are studying what? A string. Now, the last basic concept that we are studying is what? Language here. Okay. Now, what is actually a language here? Basically, language is a set. Okay. So, I need to show like this. It is a set. Now, what actually elements of these sets are? The elements of these sets are what? Whatever the condition is given to us, okay, whatever the condition is given to us, so all those things will come here. Okay, now consider, I will consider one condition, then let us consider L1 is there. Okay, L1 is equal to what? Set of all strings in which every string in which every string starts with A. Now consider this is a condition. Okay, set of all string in which every string starts with A. For L1 condition we are having the alphabet A comma B. Now what the condition is telling me is that it should consist of the string in which every string starts with A. Now there can be large number of strings will be formed on the A and B. But what actually you want is that string should start with what? A. So here the A, and after that A, if there are any number of A or B, I will just here any number of A or B. Here there is no problem. Only my condition is that, so my string should start with A. After that, if there is a B, I am not bothering about this thing. So it consists of all those strings which are fitting into my condition. So there can be a infinite number of strings will be here. So that is called as a language here. So what is a language is that? A language is a set which consists of the elements which are accepted by my given condition. So this is a condition. So according to the condition, I am going to have these elements here. Okay. So this is totally talking about the symbol, alphabet, string and language. Because for drawing the DFA and for drawing the NFA, we are requiring these basic concepts. Okay. So I am roughing now all these things. Now start with now finite automata. Okay, we'll start with the finite automata. So now finite automata, basically it is divided into the two types. Okay, we have started with now first unit. The finite automata is divided into two types. Now what are those two types? The first type is what? A finite automata without output. FA without output, and the second one, this is a FA with output. So this is a general classification of the finite automata. Now